But commemorating the Scottish hero better known to us Americans as Braveheart. This sandstone tower, built during a wave of Scottish nationalism in the mid-19th century, marks the Abbey Craig Hill on the outskirts of Stirling. This is where in 1297 William Wallace gathered forces and secured his victory against England's King Edward I at the Battle of Stirling Bridge. The victory was a huge boost to the Scottish cause, but England came back to beat the Scots the very next year. So in 1286, Scotland's king died without an heir, plunging the prosperous country into a generation of chaos. And as Scottish nobles bickered over naming a successor, the English King Edward I, nicknamed Longshanks because of his long legs, invaded and assumed power in 1296. He placed a figurehead on the throne, and he forced the Scottish nobles to sign a pledge of allegiance to England, the ragman's doll, moved the British Parliament north into York, and took the highly symbolic Stone of Scone to London, what would remain for centuries. Now, a year later, the Scots rose up against Edward, led by William Wallace, popularized in that film Braveheart. A mix of history and legend portrays Wallace as the son of a poor but knightly family that refused to sign the ragman's role. Exceptionally tall and strong, he learned Latin and French from his two uncles, who were priests. In his teenage years, his father and older brother were killed by the English, and later he killed an English sheriff to avenge the death of his wife, Marion. Wallace's rage inspired his fellow Scots to revolt. And so in the summer of 1297, Wallace and his guerrillas scored a series of stunning victories over the English. On September 11th, a well-equipped English army of 10,000 soldiers and 300 horsemen began crossing Stirling Bridge. Wallace's men attacked, and in the chaos, the bridge collapsed, splitting the English ranks in two. The ragtag Scots drove the confused English into the river. The Battle of Stirling Bridge was a rout, and Wallace was knighted and appointed Guardian of Scotland. All through the winter, King Edward's men chased Wallace, continually frustrated by the Scots' hit-and-run tactics. Finally, at the Battle of Falkirk in 1298, they drew Wallace's men out onto the open battlefield. The English, with their horse and archers, they easily destroyed the spear-carrying Scots. So Wallace resigned in disgrace and went on the lam, while his successors negotiated truces with the English, finally surrendering unconditionally in 1304. Wallace held out alone. In 1305, the English tracked him down and took him to London, where he was convicted of treason and mocked with a crown of oak leaves as the king of the outlaws. On August 23rd, they stripped him naked. They dragged him to the execution site, and there he was strangled to near death, castrated and dismembered. His head was stuck on a spike atop London Bridge, while his body parts were sent on a tour to spook the would-be rebels. But Wallace's martyrdom only served to inspire his countrymen, and the torch of independence, which was picked up by Robert the Bruce.